The prison ship is really a departure from what has been done before for Transformers, because this ship came from another planet, another world. It had nothing to do with Cybertron. I wanted to create something that we hadn't seen before. The idea of the ship is it's almost built like a cathedral. Different illustrators, different gamers worked with me extensively on this ship, and with Michael, who really got involved in the ship as well.
Okay, that's what you got. Good.
Transformers, for the most part, have always gone into real locations and not built as much as this, where you're building a whole ship that was all built at 23 feet.
Completely different than anything you'll see, because of course it's made for the proportion of Transformers, and the robots are often 30 feet tall.
Ready? I want her like a, huh? All right, ready?
Wait.
Ready? Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go! Go.
I really like the prison ship stuff. Because it's just, you walk in, it's like a whole other world. It's like dark and like slimy and steamy. And it's just, you walk in and you feel like you're somewhere else. It's really cool.
Jeffrey and Mike came up with a way to design it and execute it. There was a lot of modular pieces, basically.
There were 8 to 10 pieces that were able to be recombined into various shapes and reused. We made it as pieces that could interlock and be spun around, and so you could get a whole lot of different looks out of it to create corridors and walkways.
And when we need big open spaces of the ship, like where the landing bays are or anything like that, we literally can shoot off this way into green screen and then duplicate that.
We've got really massive, amazing sets, but we still have to supplement with green. So what we do is we photograph pieces of this set to recreate what would be the panels of all the walls that are missing right now. So it's a really nice combination of the departments making this thing look good.
And action! And 1, 2, 3!
And then we added the concept of the kind of almost like the veins of the ship, and we added a ton of tubing and wild textures.
It's got 3 kinds of vines here. We call them vines, but are they natural? Are they mechanical? Who knows? Who can tell? That's where your mind fills in the blank. So the idea is to make the room look like it's been here for a really long time, and that's what the layers of growth do. And this weapon room is an ancient part of the ship. It's kind of a spiritual space.
The swords themselves were based on museum research made by hand by my crew. Some of the swords were 30 feet long. They're enormous, and they were hung up on these giant hooks. And of course, it becomes a ladder for our characters to climb up and grab their weapons.
Gotcha. Go on, and then Mark, come here, go like that. So you can go boom, right, like that. And then just give me some more, pop, 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 you know?
A couple of dagger guns with 50 cal Smith & Wesson's internal, alien weapon with real American technology inside to make it fire.
Action!
We're in the grinder right now, what we consider the grinder, which is part of the interior of the spaceship. This is where they're getting ready to take the car into the disposal area, which, as you can tell, is only a partial of a set again, and it will be in CG the rest of the balance of the set.
You're going like on 1, okay? Keep a little motion going, that thing goes, son. Go, okay? Here we go. Ready, guys? Let's 1, action! And side, bam, okay? Yeah, screaming, ah! And action!
I continue to be in awe at the scope and the size of the movie and what it takes to keep this whole thing running and how on top of it Michael is when it comes to every aspect of it.
Right here, I fired. Big wall, this goes up. They either turn around and look at it for a fraction of a second, and then they take off running, and they've made it in 4.6 seconds all the way out.
Michael actually had a technician come out of retirement for this one explosion because it was so huge.
All these troughs are going to fire, all the flash tubes and all the salutes are going to go off.
Boom, 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 boom.
Well, they'll run through it, and I'll run about halfway, and then it's curtains for me. Yeah, this is the end of it. I mean, not the end of filming yet, but this is the end of Lucas.
Roll it! Bang! Rock! Faster! Okay, they were right here. Got 4.6, baby.
Right on the money.
All Michael said was run as fast as you can and make sure your head's up.
Don't give me this, because that's what you will get. Because it's so slow motion, you'll be like that. You understand? So it's got to be, and like you got to be looking to that water tower and just run it. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool, Jack. Were you yelling? Were you yelling? Were you yelling, Jack? Huh? Look at Richie.
Master, you can go back to retirement now, okay? You're the master.
Good job, Richie.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city of Chicago. It's a great place. I love this town. Very welcoming, very hospitable.
Italian beefs and Chicago dogs. They will make you sick if you eat more than 2 in one sitting.
Scramble Cemetery win.
On all the other Transformers, with our monitor rooms, we've always built them on stage. On this one, we got permission to work in the Office of Emergency Management Communications in Chicago, which was technically a live 911 call center, and it was almost turnkey. We could go in there, shoot it, and then leave.
Team and assets are in place. Thank you for your efforts, ladies and gentlemen. This room is going dark. I'll take it from here.
Okay, let's go.
We shot at 300 East Randolph, which is the Blue Cross Blue Shield building.
You know, it's like people like when there's like a bee, you know, like a bee coming at you, and a little freak out.
We are Mr. Joyce's assistants, Joshua's. He expects us to do everything without even having to be told or asked, to read his mind, basically.
Not ask stupid questions. Don't waste his time. Don't get fired.
Right. Make sure the doors sound the way he wants them to.
I asked for boundless, transcendent. You walk through a door in this building, it should sound like you've just stepped into the future.
Okay, good.
We shot down Roosevelt Bridge. Again, that was shoehorned between Bears games, Sox games, and college football games. That road's really difficult to close because that's a main artery into Chicago.
My marching orders are to sit here in the middle of this console beside Mark and Corey so that I don't have to jump out of the back of the car, because when I jump out of the back of the car, I'll show you how it looks. Now, this is Transformers, so everything has to be really smooth and fast, obviously, and graceful looking. But for me to get out of the back of this car with any speed kind of looks a bit like this. Like that. So I can't do that on the day. So instead I'm gonna sit on the middle bit and I'm gonna jump out like I was right there the whole time.
So we filmed at McCormick Place, which is a huge conference center, very, very busy. And we managed to shoehorn ourselves into a really small, tight window of opportunity to film in one of their main exhibition halls, where we recreated kind of a robot morgue forensic lab, where Joshua is dissecting Transformers and seeing how they're built and made so he can create his own.
The way this set came about is that as a child, I had gone to a plane reconstruction with my father that had been in a big accident. So as they were putting it back together and had all those pieces like a giant puzzle, I thought of this set as that. What we've done is tried to create it to give enough depth that you didn't have to CGI the whole thing. And we used everything from every lab we've done, every automotive part we could find, and truck and airplane part, and put it together and make it look clinical.
Hey! That's company property!
They're not your property. They were my friends.
This is my 4th outing with the Transformers.
We are not your technology.
I run around the set basically being the voice of all the robots that, you know, when they're in a scene, doing their dialogue.
Pleasure.
There you go.
Glass in your forehead? No, look, perfectly fine. I'm completely deaf, but it's all right.
Let's go, let's go.
In the Uptown Theater on the north side of Chicago. This was built in 1925, closed down in the 1980s. The hardest sell was to make this believable that it was a small town theater in Texas, because it's the biggest picture house in the country, over 4,000 seats.
Doesn't quite fit in the tiny town of Taylor, Texas, but Michael only shot a part of it.
You don't find it on many websites, even the Urban Explorer websites. It's not open to the public. It's slightly mysterious. No one really knows what's behind these doors. The outside doesn't look very big, and you come through these doors and then walk into the theater and see 4,000 seats. No one ever expects to see that.
That's what makes Michael Bay great, is that he would choose this vast, expansive theater, you know, once grand, now dilapidated, which is true in real life, and have that be the place that we find Optimus Prime. And that could have been in a junkyard or a tow station or a car auction. There's plenty of places that would be the obvious choice.
How much for the truck?
The idea of the theater is pure magic, and we wanted it to look like a ghost was there. There's a whole sense in this whole film of ghosts and of age and of time gone by, and that's one of the reasons the locomotives and the ships and the barns. We shot in the original projection room that was up there. We brought in equipment to make it look old and haunted, and did a lot of dusting and used a lot of plastic and webbing and stuff to try and make this place look as old as possible.
It's fantastic. I hear they're going to restore it. That's a big job. That makes my my work on my kitchen at home look very manageable.
We were in the real heart of Chicago. We chose LaSalle. It's in the financial district, so the weekends it's relatively quiet, and it's a real classic Chicago canyon. We chose it because it was a really long stretch where we could shoot the Decepticon fighter tail gunner ball bouncing down the street.
The gag was that the truck's getting hit, sideswiped by the gunship that broke apart. A piece of its pod hit it and knocks it off kilter and blows the end of the Bud truck up. It's a real nice effect. And then the pod kept on skidding and bouncing in the CG world through about 4 blocks down LaSalle.
Main Chicago street, and there's supposed to be all these extras like screaming because there's this other spaceship going above us, and I love days like that because there's so much going on. It's high energy and it's so fun.
Yeah, baby.
You know, we're gonna have a really amazing sequence here.
The light is now getting good.
Big explosion, a lot of craziness.